Hi, Jackie.
God, I might even need glasses. You're so far away. Oh, God.
Sound.
Yeah.
Can you see us moving?
Am I on mute? No, I'm on normal. Here he comes.
Ah, there we go. Can you hear us?
Perfect.
Great.
How are you?
We're having brunch.
We're fine. Is that breakfast?
Rose.
Hello.
Hi.
Actually,
Girls.
I'm going to
Cheers.
turn the
Oh,
speaker
cheers.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
Oh dear.
We were determined to do this in style. Hang on. Can we turn the speaker up? Speak, can you begin?
Yeah.
No.
Can you hear us?
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Say something loud.
Can you hear us?
Three.
Can you hear?
Now, the only
They can't hear us.
They can. They're just turning the volume up.
Perfect. Perfect. Can you turn that up? There we go.
There we go. You guys have
I
any
need glasses. Where's my glasses?
You always forget your glasses.
Oh,
Oh,
screen's frozen.
Oh, no. Us,
Matter.
a large screen. Oh, frigging Ada. I need to have something to eat.
Just frozen.
We can see Jackie frozen.
I've discovered that if hang on, I close the, I think it's something to do with the screen processing.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, how's that? Any better?
What are you having for lunch?
Ah,
There we go.
so how's Wilton? Sorry, not Wilton, Salisbury.
I don't know.
Haven't been to Salisbury.
I haven't been to Salisbury for a month.
We stay at home and try not to venture outside too
We
much.
keep out of the way. We got an email from Salisbury District Hospital saying they're flooded with COVID patients. Please don't come.
Oh my. So where do you get your
Yeah.
food, your groceries and stuff?
Well, we get that from Waitrose,
That from the supermarket.
but not in Salisbury.
Oh, you go to a different town or you get it delivered?
Yeah, a small town.
That's the way close I've been to. Ah, actually, can I stop now? Ah, jump it over a bit so we can see more of Rose and less of Jane.
No. It's
Oh,
That's it, perfect.
So how was your Christmas?
We had a really good Christmas.
Yeah, we had lovely Christmas.
The three of us
Just the
enjoying
three of us.
ourselves.
That's fine.
Lots of drinking.
Oh, really?
we chatted with Alex and Clem quite a bit.
Yep, Alex and Clem for an hour and a half or plus.
Well, no, just several times.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. We sort of catch up through the day.
And did you kind of do the whole Christmas gift thingy, big dinner?
Oh yes.
Yeah, we did that at about 1 o'clock. Yeah, with our canopies, we had presents dishing out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
So we had canapes. We had champagne and canapes, and then opened presents.
I think the way that everybody's worked around this COVID thing is fantastic. And it doesn't matter whether you're well off, middle class, or not particularly well off, unexciting place people. Everybody's doing amazing stuff.
Yeah.
It was fun because we were so busy. I didn't do any Christmas cooking. So while my friend was here, we just cooked and ate what we cooked.
That's what we did.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
No, we were going to have a Christmas turkey, but in the panic of going around the shop with all the masses of other people, we got what we thought was a turkey, but ended up with a turkey crown. And we only noticed on Christmas morning that we only got the top of a turkey.
It's just the breast, is that right? No legs.
It's the breast and wings.
Breast and wings.
Breast
And
No
I
legs
love,
or anything.
I love leg meat. It's my favourite bit is leg meat.
But we didn't get any of that.
No,
Oh,
but that's fine. We're still eating it, so it was big enough.
Yeah, it's been very tasty. We've had Christmas sandwiches for the past 3 days.
Oh yes, the best thing.
I've not had my turkey sandwich yet. I mean, we weren't going to have turkey until Christmas Eve. Jackie said, why don't I have turkey? And within a period of about an hour and a half, we put together sprouts, potatoes, a turkey, some best gravy ever.
really good gravy, yeah.
And we had a Sunday meal. And so I've been making turkey pies all yesterday, literally all yesterday. We've got just enough left behind for her, turkey soup, and one sandwich for me.
Oh,
So we're having turkey tonight.
we are.
Yes, we're having
Oh.
turkey tonight. Yes.
Turkey curry.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Yeah.
are actually.
Turkey
Excellent.
curry.
We're having turkey curry tonight.
How do you make that?
Turkey korma.
Yeah.
It was a
we're
special
turkey.
request from me.
Just with
Or the
some,
korma?
no, but it just a few spices and some coconut milk
And almonds.
Did
and
I
some
hear
brown almonds.
Brown almonds.
was your dad making it?
No, it was his request, but I don't think he was going to make it.
I'll boil the rice.
What's the most complicated thing you've cooked this Christmas, Ian?
A most complicated thing.
He's going quite red here.
No, tea.
You peeled some potatoes.
I didn't cook them.
Didn't
No.
cook
You
them.
didn't cook
I just peeled them.
No.
No, it's a real miracle to get Ian into the kitchen.
I'm in there every night washing up all the dishes.
That's important.
No, you are a good washer-upper.
That's important. And I get Trevor to load the dishwasher because he's much better at it than I am.
And also,
I know if
this,
somebody else loads the dishwasher, I just do the washing up in the sink.
Oh my. Oh, no.
No, I load the
we've
dishwasher.
lived for years.
Well,
with this
Rosie too.
beautiful, we've lived for years with this beautiful Miele dishwasher. It's kind of like a Bosch, but with knobs on. It's brilliant. And as an engineer, it's so beautifully laid out. Every pong is optimal. It's got so many ways you can adjust it. And
Yes,
you
so
deal
is
with
ours.
most delicate glasses, and it's what you pay for. So we got totally used to this massively high density of packing. This shit we've got here. We're doing three washes a day, and there's been three of us over Christmas.
Oh, dear.
Oh.
Yeah, we started off like that until we replaced it with a Miele, didn't we?
No, no, ours was a Bosch. We got a Bosch. We went for Bosch.
Oh, we had a Bosch. Oh,
Yeah.
right. It's a Miele washing machine then. I was reading this.
It's a Miele washing machine,
Yeah,
which is hopeless. I hate our Miele washing machine.
Oh, I love mine. What's wrong?
No, we had one before. Our previous one was good, and then eventually died a death. Very old. But this one takes forever to do. I mean, there is a quick wash cycle, but most normal wash cycles take an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Oh,
2.5 hours, some of them.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's too much. It's not a long time.
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't like that. I like to put my laundry in and have it done within an hour.
Oh, sorry, we're on the laundry. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we've moved on to laundry now.
I was looking at my PLC. Sorry.
The new
Oh,
one.
no, the dishwasher's much shorter.
Yeah, the one I bought now is like our old ones, but they're making them more energy efficient now.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's why it takes so long.
It doesn't work on 240, and there's not even a dryer vent. It just recycles the air, whatever. So she says it'll take longer to dry and wash everything. But yeah,
I'm pretty ecological, but I don't like this recycling vent. It doesn't feel right to me, but we'll see.
we'll see. But it's supposed to be very energy efficient, and we'll see, because the ones we got now, these big, massive North American thing,
Yes.
I have to literally crawl into it.
You can put Rosie in.
My body's in there trying to get the pieces of clothes,
Oh,
and it always goes off kilter. So you're bang, bang, bang. It's a good thing, but
There was a big family here before, and they were hockey mad.
yeah, they have 4 kids.
And hockey produces so much.
Oh, wow.
yes.
Yeah.
Filthy clothing.
They must have had so much laundry to do.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
A nice little stacky one with a sink beside, so when Monsieur comes from the garage, he can have a sink and make his mess in the laundry room, not in my kitchen.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah.
And how's the
Well,
how's the construction going on?
well, our friend who owns the company who's building the kitchen said, "Good news! I can deliver it on January the 4th." And I said, "Oh, geez, I want a break." No, I just really didn't want it. And then we took the builder, and that wasn't going to be ready. And a couple of things aren't going to be ready. So actually, nothing's happening now till January the 2018.
Well, construction's the 18th.
Well, that's
18? Oh, it's plenty of time.
Yeah.
For you to get ready and be, aware of what's coming next.
we got it all worked out. But we did this room first, and we were going to have custom cabinets made for this, custom cabinets for the library, and the the pantry and for the kitchen. We ran out of money, so guess who's not getting custom cabinets in there?
The library in the office.
So give her due. Jackie, in her usual way, has spent many hours on Kijiji throwing different really nice units. People sell stuff here such good quality. And they weren't quite right. And last night, she said, how about this? And I said, wow, that's nice. And I looked at the dimension, they look right. And these people, they're like kind of us. They're in a house we would have bought. They have the same car, the same size boat. She's a talkative management consultant.
Same decor, same age.
He's nothing like me at all. So
No, he's very quiet.
Very
Never-
quiet.
no one knew.
Nobody's like you, Trevor.
what are you, Ian?
No, you're unique. You're more unique than me.
You're both very unique.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
really?
would say so. Yeah.
Pretty
Oh.
close tie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you like a bite?
So did you have to collect it or did they drop it off to you?
No, we pick it up. It's
Okay.
Kijiji's kind of like eBay for Canada.
Yeah.
Postage is so expensive in Canada. Nobody really sells stuff and puts it in the post. So every little town has their own little. You just search for
But more
things.
importantly, it's free.
Oh, cool.
They're free. Yeah.
Free?
I
Free? Oh,
have it.
oh yeah. Well, we have free websites, but
Oh,
we
so yeah, we
yeah.
a bit like
Yeah, I know, but-
free cycle.
free cycle.
You're,
Yeah.
but you're dominated by ebay.co.uk, right?
No. There's free. There's free cycle and things like that.
If you want to pay for it, then eBay. But if you want something
For free.
for nothing, then there's free
No,
cycle
it's
and Gumtree.
Nowhere in Canada where you can go and pay. And do you know the most ironic thing of all? eBay own Kijiji.
You're talking
Oh,
about
really?
you're talking about two different things. We have free
Ah.
cycle where people
Yeah.
just give shit away and where you go. Kijiji works the same as eBay. People post things with a price. You negotiate the price. It's not an auction though. And then you go but because you buy it directly from the person, eBay doesn't take a cut.
Oh, I see. So do you pay cash?
In fact,
Makes
there's
sense.
nothing. It has no comparison with eBay.
You
There's
pay-
no bidding. It's all very Canadian. Everybody goes up and says, so what's the least you'll take? You know, and we've only ever really had one or two. We've done it hundreds of times since I've been
And
there
most of the time you don't even negotiate. You just pay what they're asking.
because it's so fair.
And you go pick it up. You give them the cash. If nobody gets a cut, and when we sell stuff, we make a killing because and then there is stuff like free if you just want to get rid of it. There is a free section and you put it on and like it's gone in 60 seconds.
Literally.
Yeah.
People I watch on is
A good way to get rid of your stuff then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
sold my kitchen cabinets and countertop for $2,500. I had 7 people who wanted it in the first 10 minutes.
Cool.
Good Lord.
Excellent.
And the thing
Excellent.
about Canada is we're like I think you've heard me say the expression before, we're like a string of jewels. So each place you have a unique character, you get a bunch of people who are very close to each other, and then you have to drive for 5 hours to get to the next jewel.
Yeah.
In Ottawa, we've actually got access to Ottawa, Gatineau, which is the French part of Ottawa on the other side of the river. And if you really wanted to, you could drive 2 hours to Montreal or 2 hours to Houston. So we're
Toronto.
perfectly.
Even to
Toronto's
Toronto.
5 hours. Toronto's 5 hours.
No, I
to go.
sold my Sark car to a guy in
I
Toronto.
bought my motorbike in Toronto.
Toronto, yeah. So it's and I get stuff in Winnipeg. And I remember when I sold my car to my brother, we drove from Ottawa to Winnipeg, which is a 3-day.
Wow.
It was a long
Yeah.
drive.
Wow.
And what I did to make it more interesting, it was when I went with my dad. You need a break with the dad. He needs to walk and stuff. So I kept finding things I wanted to buy, pieces of art and different things. And
On the way.
these little towns, and we'd stop at these little neighborhoods and stuff. It was so fun.
That's cool.
I got stuff for a song because there's no market for it locally.
And the weird thing is, at a social level, I find Kijiji fascinating because I've sold tens of thousands of pounds worth of stuff on eBay. So I have a lot of experience of both. And the other thing is so social because nobody's recording this, are they? They're so much like,
Yeah, somebody is.
I know. They're so much like you. Our taste in clothes, in furniture, things we need for our car, the type of car we need. And you meet people, think, oh, these are nice people. And you know,
Yes. I quite like them to be my friends.
Yeah, exactly. And they're, a lot of, what I sold my car, my Subaru, I got rid of the lease. We don't need 2 cars anymore, so I put the lease up for somebody to take it over. A couple down the road came over, bought it instantly, and all very nice. And we had to negotiate with the stupid dealership to get the lease transfer, and we were getting mucked around. And we were both under the same impression. It's like everybody's very nice and polite and Canadian.
I do think Kijiji.
That's very good.
Yeah.
I think Kijiji and eBay.co.uk really reflect the countries they're in so well. Whereas eBay.com, which I've done a huge amount of business with the people in the South, it's very much more business-like. eBay.co.uk, you have to be, there are dodgy people out there. There are
There are.
Yeah.
A lot of eBay now is commercial sellers just for
It
profit.
is commercial sellers, yeah.
Yeah,
Lots of
loads
it.
of it.
It's like Amazon, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas Kijiji is just straight, what you used to have in the local paper.
Yeah.
Grandma's selling her chest. You want it?
Which is so much better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We've got so many.
Yeah, there's loads of little things.
Yeah. I just can't bear Amazon, actually. I mean, we all end up buying things.
I do
through them.
everything on Amazon.
But the whole ethos of Amazon, I hate. I hate it.
I buy things from Etsy.
Say again?
It's like we'll get something from China. And I'll say, oh, more slave labor. This is for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it comes very quickly, even though it stays from China. It doesn't come sort of.
No, hang on. It doesn't always come very
Oh no,
quickly.
No,
your
it doesn't
painting
always.
took 3 months.
No,
Or whatever it was.
that wasn't even from Amazon, but your stuff from Amazon doesn't always come quickly.
No, that's true. It does take a bit of a while. Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes it comes straight away.
Do us a favour, Jane. You can buy from Amazon from local producers because
You can, yeah.
and if you are careful, and I do try and do that. I try not to go with multinationals. I will try to go to a local producer. Now, we have in Ottawa, and I'm not saying this because I live in Ottawa, like a big rival to Amazon. It's called Shopify. Have you heard of it?
Oh yes, we
Yeah,
use
we
it.
have
We use
Shopify.
Shopify.
Bramley, so where I'm working, our online shop is Shopify.
That's right. So they started as a really functional online shop. Starting the market here. I know one of the guys who started it. Fantastic. Thought it would stay as a software house. When we went to, where did we? We went to New York. We found a Shopify shop. They physically got a shop. So they're and now they're putting together an infrastructure using electric vehicles so that not only you as a private individual with a business can use their software, their customer relationship marketing, but also their distribution. So they're chipping away at Amazon. And I have so much time.
Good.
It's so
Yeah.
There's a website you need to check out, Jane. It's a girl in Toronto, about your age, Rosie, and she got so sick of Amazon. She started a website called Not Amazon.
Good. I think .ca. Or is it .com?
And what she does is she works with small businesses to help the small business people.
Yes.
They're like, so there's one in Toronto, Kingston, there's coming one in Ottawa, there's one in Montreal. And so it keeps the small business community people who want to buy local. And it's
Good.
and a lot of the small businesses in Toronto said it's the only way they've kept alive. She says she can't keep up with the demand.
Yeah.
But that's the good stuff.
Yeah, no,
That's the good stuff.
Okay.
I'm a professor. This girl is a student. And you just go into it.
She's overwhelmed.
She's written this stuff on her bed, in her bed sit. And basically it's a bunch of links. And if you want to buy clothes in North York, in Toronto, you get a list of the people and then you go to them. So I love the marketing.
But she's just directing them to the
Very
right.
good.
It's really good. And everybody has to have a website, probably run by Shopify. So it's
So the people are starting to push back, and her idea, I think, is going to take off in this country for sure, because a lot of people like you hate the whole Amazon thing. Because here, especially with COVID, well, now we're still completely locked down. So other than groceries,
so are you locked down?
most of it.
No, not
We're
completely.
not.
We're in tier 2.
Yeah. So we can go out. We can meet up to 5 other people. So you can have a group of 6 people meeting outdoors.
Wow.
We have nothing.
Not in
we're
the
very
house.
likely to go into a lockdown in January.
Yeah.
Well, when you
Because we were let off for Christmas Day.
And everybody's got sick, and so they're going to lock
you'll
you
all
up.
you'll all get the Kent version, or is it the London version? There's 4
Well-
people.
Well, they're tier 4. No, they're locked.
There's 4 people in
Yeah, there is the
already.
new strain.
There's 4 people in Canada with the new strain.
They can't live in
Incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that means that you're all going to get it then.
Well,
There
there's
is
hundreds of thousands of people with the new strain here.
there is more than one new strain.
Yeah.
I suspect every large country has developed a new strain, because that's the only way the virus eventually survives,
Yeah.
Of course.
is to make itself more, what's the word,
I listened to a very,
infectious.
yeah, well, viable. I was
Yeah,
listening
fine.
to very, very erudite, very smart medical guys who were right at the forefront of antibody research. And they said, it's actually really lucky that we worked out this new way of genetically creating a vaccine. Because the old days, we'd have had to produce a brand new one every time.
Yeah, every single time it changes.
But because of this, because it's the shape, not the mutation of parts of the shape, because it's the shape that's being attacked by these new vaccines. So once again, oh, thank you. I thought that was me. Once again, humanity can breathe a sigh of relief at luck.
Yeah.
At luck, yeah, it is luck. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Yes, because we've got our own mutation, and we've now imported the South African version. That's turned up as well.
Yeah.
Because 2 people came across in a flight and weren't quarantined.
Well, that's where we got it. There 2 were Brits who came to Canada to visit, and 2 had been to the UK to visit, and they brought me. Well, the 4 have all been in the UK.
So, Jane, you're the most highest on the list. When do you think you might get a vaccine?
I don't know. I've been told
Read it
that,
very carefully, though.
yeah, no, I've been told I can have my knee surgery in February.
Oh, that's
In
terrific.
February, but
New knee, great.
on the list, another new knee.
2 new knees.
I was going to say that was very
On the list of risks, COVID has suddenly appeared. When I had the other knee done, COVID wasn't on that list, obviously.
Yeah, but that was before, yes.
No, it wasn't before. I mean, COVID was around,
No,
but
but it was before lockdown. The first
it was
Well
before
before.
lockdown. Yeah.
first one in March.
So now it's on the list of risks.
So
So
we
I'm
might
thinking
get
actually, I might ask to delay until I've had the vaccine.
Oh, that's interesting. Gosh.
Well, because you get a certain amount of immunity from your first dose,
Yeah.
but that's only about 70% until you've had your second dose. Then it's 90, 95.
Yeah.
And it takes 4 weeks after your second dose to become fully operational.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how
Well,
long-
no,
the reason for that is what I was saying earlier on, because it's genetically modified. The old vaccines, you just took it. The reason you have these 2 is because the learning mechanism inside your immune system has to
Is
get
this-
kicks, has to be taught twice, like a poor pupil.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's like me. You can tell me everything,
No,
please.
I need the demonstration twice always.
We're being very patient about mine because
You can't get it.
at the moment they don't have enough research to see what effect there is for somebody with CLL. I mean, in fact,
Yeah.
there's not enough research about people with quote weakened immune systems. Now, I am just one
Yeah.
of a dozen weakened immune systems. There was one person with
Yes.
CLL who was on the Pfizer trial by randomness, and they didn't die or anything. So I just think you just got to go with the flow. If I'm anxious about when I'm going to get it, like you're saying you may wait for the surgery, I don't have to do that. I just have to wait.
Well, we're going for
Mike.
an
Yeah.
antibody test. Yes, talk about Fred.
Well,
Oh yeah.
I'm in February this year, yeah.
When he went in February.
And I stayed with everybody, but didn't stay with you guys, did I? No, February, no.
No.
Do I think so?
Yeah.
Everybody there, of course, nobody knew about COVID then.
Mm.
They all had a horrible cold. I brought a horrible cold back, gave it to Jacqueline. So we all felt
Yeah.
bad. Then going on with our lives. And I said, do you think that was COVID in March? Nah, you'd have felt much worse. Turns out that Fred's eldest daughter is on a program with Oxford University having her blood checked because it's absolutely thick with COVID antibodies. And she's never actually registered as having COVID. So now she's on this program that she's classified as not asymptomatic, but bloody close to it. And her antibodies are staying very high. So Fred said to me, Jackie, you've got antibodies. So we've got a chitty from our doctor. And we're going to check. We must get on with that, shouldn't we?
I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I had an antibody test because I was part of a survey. I sent in my sample and it came back negative. I didn't have any antibodies.
I wouldn't mind having an antibody test because earlier this year, I lost my sense of taste and smell.
Oh, yeah.
And
That was very early on though, wasn't it?
it was probably about February, March-ish. Yeah.
At the same time, he had the same thing and found out after he had had it. That he lost.
I just wonder if and because when I had the knee surgery, I was not that well. I mean, I was not, as people are reporting COVID is when it's bad, but I was not that well. And everybody I've spoken to who's had knee surgery have said it's painful, but mine, I just really seemed to succumb to it. I was in so much pain for about 3 months.
Wow.
And I just wondered early on if I'd had COVID, a mild dose of COVID.
And you wouldn't know.
No, and
I
that's
wouldn't
what I
know.
wondered.
And
Yeah.
Rosie wondered the same, yes, because Rosie had illnesses this year as well.
But you don't know, and antibody tests aren't 100%,
No,
so you
no.
might not have any antibodies because you had such a mild dose, you
Yeah.
don't have any
And
antibodies.
also it was, you know, what, 8 months ago. So
Yeah, 8
you know,
months, yeah.
it might have already gone out of system.
Yeah.
It's even if we have antibodies, we can't actually relax because you can still get COVID because the antibodies are the
Absolutely.
old antibodies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The vaccine is what's
Yeah.
micro-modern. So I'm not
But
quite sure what we're going to do with the information. But
No.
There's some people that are being infected twice with bad COVID as well.
Yeah, because you can still have the vaccine and still have it in your nose and mouth and give it to somebody else.
exactly,
Yeah.
I did one
Oh.
COVID test and it was negative and it wasn't a big deal and it was just kind of like, okay.
Anyway, more importantly, I'm working in my shed. I'm working out what my shed should look like now.
Oh, how exciting. Have you rebuilt
It is. Oh no, I haven't done anything to it yet, but I've been watching lots of YouTube videos during lockdown about how to organise your shed.
Just started removing
3D software, so you can draw the thing in 3D, decide where it is.
No, I haven't done any of that yet. I've got a piece of graph paper and a load of little sheets, and I'm moving them around so I can put my various things in the
Use a
right
3D
place.
pen. Alex
It's a busy thing.
bought Dad a 3D pen for Christmas.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's
you can
very cool.
print. You can
I
print.
can make plastic things out of my 3D pen, but I haven't worked out how to use it yet.
I must admit, I'm very tempted. We have a huge operation in the university with scanners and 3D printers, and we have them both in the university, and we take them out to society, to the local community, in the back of a van. And we set the kids up, and they learn about three-dimensional spaces. They learn how to scan. They learn about the mathematics of describing a three-dimensional space, then modifying it with very simple mathematics, and then print the bloody thing. So they'll take a scan of their hand. They'll then make the hand bigger, but using classroom techniques, sat in a circle around the back of the van. Then they'll use arithmetic to drill a hole in the middle of their hand, and then they print out a 3D rendering of their own hand with a hole in it. As an educational thing, it's just fantastic.
That's fantastic.
Really cool. So it's a very big thing for us, and I want a 3D printer.
Yeah.
I'd like once I learn how my pen works, I'd like a 3D printer to go with it. That sounds really good.
Tell you what, if you
Start saving up.
If you create something, just send me the file, and I'll get it printed here.
I've got to design it first.
And
then.
mail it to you.
And then what?
I'm sure there's
Then
And
send
then
it
what?
back.
And then you've got it.
Yeah. There is. I know for a fact that there are several websites where you just send them the file,
in the
and they
UK.
charge you for the amount of materials that are used up.
Yeah, but you ain't going to post it back to me. And if I've built something big, it'll cost an arm and a leg.
I'm saying in the UK they've got.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, I see. Stay in UK. Even so, postage in UK is still expensive.
Probably more than here, yes. Yes,
Yeah,
Trevor-
no, don't worry. I'll make my own stuff and see how it works.
well, Trevor's all excited to doing his garage and basement workshop, so he's got
Yeah.
a fair amount of space to go play.
So we've got a double garage. One half is for the car. Luckily, only one car. The other half is a kind of decent sized workshop space for working on bicycles, motorbikes, snow blowers, anything like that. So there's space. Then downstairs, I've got this obscenely large, and I do think it's a bit large, shop, which I'm turning into a machine shop. So I've got
Yeah, exactly.
a lathe, a drill, a sharp
Miter saw, table saw.
Oh, we got those, yeah.
I've got a temp- and the great thing is, it's right. The house has built-in
Central back.
central vac. You know the central vac things?
It's like a big.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, exactly.
A complete waste of time. You might say wonderful. Have you ever tried using it?
Horrible.
It's
No.
You take a Hoover, you walk around the house with a Hoover, right?
And I'll massively find a
No,
hole.
no, seriously. You walk around.
Oh, we looked at a house.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we looked at a house that had one of those, and I said, I wouldn't be
You just
using
take the
that.
pipe with you and plug it in the wall.
It's
I
huge.
see. Put it into the wall.
There's lots of
But it
little
has
holes
to
all
be a
around the house.
really long pipe to get round the room.
Oh.
Anyway, I just have a Hoover, an old Hoover in my shed that I still
Exactly. So
do
what
everything up with.
here is every room has at least one, in some cases two, of these vacuum outlets. So what a wonderful way to lead your local area network and your 240-volt cables and all that stuff. So I've got instant access to her new office and mine. The vacuum outlet
Through a little pipe.
and secondly, the sucker is in my machine shop. So I can get some tube and put a little sucker next door to things that are producing sawdust and swarf. And
Yeah, well, it's really good.
so I'm pretty happy.
Very clever.
It'll keep him
Good.
on
Yeah,
track
that's
for
quite
years.
cool, actually.
We hope.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have enough to do, you know.
I'm most impressed.
I'm
And where's the kayak being stored? Is that in the garage?
ceiling of the garage. yes.
Hanging from the ceiling.
Oh, hanging. Oh, okay.
The garage is 18
Above
foot
the car.
wide. Yeah, well, the garage is 18 foot wide. My seat cap is 17 foot tall. So it just fits.
Perfect.
Exactly the same. And it just fits.
And it's what, 10-foot ceiling or something like that?
11 foot ceiling.
11
No,
foot
it's
ceiling.
all the
There's a
ceiling.
nice little pulley to drop it down onto the top of the car.
That's it.
We're nowhere near the car. It's the other side of the car.
No, it has to go this way. The car goes this way.
Oh, I see. That's no use. You have to turn it around so it lowers down nicely onto the car.
These super gizmo electric doors.
There's electric garage door openers.
And the garage
Okay.
Oh,
electric.
you can't drive out with it on the roof.
It's really quite cool because when you drive out, you press the button, you drive into the garage. Best of all, for Christmas, Jackie bought me a little remote control for my motorbike. So as I ride up to the house, I press the button on my keys, the garage door opens, and I ride straight in. And frankly, one of the biggest pains in the arse is getting the bloody bike into a garage after you've ridden it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Cool.
Is it anymore? We'll see.
Well, we were talking on the way here of maybe getting a scooter, I think an electric scooter that we can both use. Because
Oh,
do you remember that bike that I dropped in the driveway of your house?
Yes, only too well.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one of those again.
You bought another one.
no.
Trevor.
She made me. She found it. She said, "Darling, wouldn't you look good on this?" And I said, "Yes," and I bought it. Now, I think that's good. Oh,
I found it on Kijiji and I said, "Is this the kind of bike you're looking for?" It was bought like that.
Straight away.
deal. Where did I learn that phrase from? It was a deal.
I don't know.
It was a steal.
Oh, goodness me, Trevor. Yeah.
You three look disgustingly well.
Well, we're all well, aren't we?
It's
We're
the
all healthy.
wine.
It's the wine. We just had.
Yes, just had a glass of red wine.
I'm so sorry. I never apologise. I saw you sitting there last week with the wine. I felt so bad. It was the wine that really rubbed it in. And you're not,
They are.
Sitting, drinking wine and eating sort of little snacks and waiting for you to turn up.
Why we thought
I have been told that my message to you was a bit passive aggressive.
Oh, really? I didn't notice. What did you say?
It wasn't intended to be.
But when you said it was a snotty message, and I got Mum to read it back, and I said, yes, that is slightly passive aggressive.
What did it say?
Obviously,
We've been sat here for 10 minutes.
Where
or
are
something
you?
Like that.
No, we've been waiting for 10 minutes. And actually, it was been waiting for 10 minutes with a smiley face, and Rosie said that was passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive. What's more wine?
I live on Zoom. And so quite often something happens.
Thank you.
The limit on Zoom is 10 minutes. Everybody's allowed 10 minutes because not everybody tries to start on time. But you're allowed 10 minutes because shit happens.
food up the computer problems, everything else. Yeah.
And of course, nowadays, the baby being sick or whatever. the lady I work with, she has 4 kids, the youngest of which is 18 months. And this woman so needed to work with me to get away from the kids. So we give her the headspace, and about 8 o'clock, she and her husband Patrick, they have dinner, and then she becomes a grown-up. And she works through the night until about 4 o'clock. And about 4 o'clock, I wake up, and she transfers the work over to me. So we have this great thing going. But she has the kids that come and arrive, don't they? So we sit there, do some really complicated design. A little, what's a little
Patrick.
No,
Charles.
Charles is the she's French. Charles is the youngest. He comes and sits on that. They're sitting there looking at me. He's quite happy. He's so used to me. I'm not Uncle Trev, I'm Trev. And he sits there quite happy. And she'll say, just a minute, Charles. And we'll sit there and we'll do some design work. Then he gets bored and wanders off. It's marvelous.
And you hear la, 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 la,
Oh yes, he's
singing in the background and work.
And there was one time she was late because of the kids. And she was in such a, she was just, and she felt, and I'm sure you understand what I mean, the 2 ladies here. She was a professional woman whose children were stopping her being as professional as she wanted to be. And she sat this long, apologetic diatribe. And I said, don't be ridiculous, I understand. But for her, it was so important that she wasn't late because of the children. And she one time was late. And I said, don't be ridiculous. I love your children. I understand your situation better than you do. And she was
the odd time we have project management meetings every week. And the odd time she has to go.
She's a project manager.
And you hear a crash, bang. Oh, gotta go. All of a sudden, there's like kids and their blood as they're screaming. It's like, oh god.
No, only one in 9 months has had to actually be abandoned because blood was involved and they went to hospital.
Oh God.
Good Lord.
4 lovely children. And then they came around a few days ago, and the kids, who've only ever seen me on the video, they're out in their big old van, and then Patrick's guarding the kids so they don't come out. Genevieve is halfway up the drive, and she gives us we never cooked it.
No, one of those pre-made cakes that come in a jar.
No, it's not pre-made.
All the ingredients.
The
Give it like
ingredients,
as a present.
cookie ingredients, and a
To
nice
make a brownie thing. So I gotta.
Oh, right, yeah.
Chocolate this year. I don't know what.
That's very good.
It's a nice idea.
So they drove up to your new house.
Yeah. And she said, I didn't realise it was this big one from the videos.
Oh, no. It actually looks bigger from the outside than it is on the inside. Because the garage is attached, and so over the garage is a bedroom, but in the back of the house, it's like your ceiling goes all the way, cathedral ceiling.
Oh,
So
right, yeah.
the whole second floor, it doesn't go the whole way, so it's.
But I can tell you all, we have grown to love this house. It was so hard. You
Good.
know how hard it was to
Good.
get here in a month. I know the couple of days we were here, and every day I'd wake up thinking, am I going to like this house? Shit, it's getting better and better. And this place we just bought this furniture from, lovely house, we'd have bought it. But actually, this is bad.
Yeah.
And every day.
Well, it's your house now, so that's really good.
It's your house.
Yeah,
It's
but
your
yeah,
house.
people buy houses and they regret it. And
You've never done that, Jane, have you?
I didn't regret the Tisbury house, Cross House. I didn't regret that initially, but over time I did, because I lived in it on my own largely. In working away, the children both away. So I ended up living in the breakfast room, a tiny little room, the breakfast room right next to the kitchen, and the bedroom. I lived in 3 rooms in this massive house. So I did regret that house. I don't regret this house.
No,
I just remember
I don't regret where we are.
searching for the perfect house in which could be gained perfectly that your furniture could go into. And I just think you guys fit into that house so well. That one. Like,
Yeah, we do.
And I think we're both in our final houses. Here.
yes. Yeah, after this it'll be.
I don't know. I
Well, we might not be in our final house
I
here.
would not go so far as to say final house. I really wouldn't, because as the years pass, I want to be in latter years. I want to be in a town. I don't want to be out in a tiny village in the country. Particularly if I can't drive or whatever. I want to be in a town.
And that was partly why we bought this place. 'Cause
It was.
I thought of you saying that you would go eventually back to Salisbury or something. And
Yeah.
I thought, if we are way out in the country, especially in the winter time,
Beautiful houses.
Yeah.
you know, and it's just the driving on the snow-covered roads and the bad traffic and stuff. And I thought, no, at least here we can stay in town. I can walk
Yes.
out to the shop, every shop.
That's the thing.
And
Things are accessible, whereas here they're not. You've got to,
It's not just the local shops. It's a bloody great metropolis.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
Haven is growing and growing and growing. It's absolutely full of new Canadians. They can't build the houses quick enough. There's a new tech centre 2 miles from us where they're basically trying to rival Kanata, which is the biggest tech centre in Canada. And the place is buzzing. And then there's this little circle around us with the golf course and the posh houses where nothing happens. It's
yeah.
One of my favourite rivers, which is one of the tributaries of the Ottawa, comes across here and joins
Yes.
the river, the Rideau River, which runs down the back here. So it's lovely. I'm happy.
Perfect for you.
Can you row all the way to the river you normally play on?
I don't row anywhere here.
I know. I just corrected him.
Yeah,
I don't-
because of the time of year. But I think it's about a 15-minute portage to the Jock River. The Jock River, which we do the Jock River race every spring. It's the first race we do every year. And you can only really paddle on it when it's high. The rest of the time, it's like bump, 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 bump. You're in and out.
Oh, I see. Too low.
So what I'm planning to do is, if the weather's decent, we'll actually portage to the Jock River. Sorry, we'll get into the Jock River at Richmond, which is where the end of the race is, and then we'll paddle all the way down here and then portage from the river to here, which will be fun. And Jackie will have some hot chocolate. But then where the river joins, where the Jock joins the Rideau River, there's this like little waterfalls. So even that, it's all a bit different.
Whoa.
It's greatest river.
Yeah,
But
that
that's
sounds a bit hairy.
hours.
It's not that
I'm
much.
happy to come and watch you going down them. That would be fun. We're looking forward to coming and staying in your house.
Oh, have you resolved when's the target date?
There's enough.
No, we haven't got it. It'll be sometime after 2021.
It won't be. It won't be this coming year. Definitely not.
To
No.
COVID. I mean,
It will. It may be 2022.
It'll be post-COVID and after you've
Post-COVID
recovered
and-
from,
And
And
after
two
I've
knees.
recovered from my knee. Yeah.
and then you'll be able to talk about it and stuff.
We have enough bedrooms that you guys could all come, even with your son and daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow,
yeah,
that'd be
no,
really
that'd be
good.
cool.
we do have a lot of bedrooms. I mean, even the offices are going to be doing the bedrooms. In fact, one of my grandchildren could sleep here.
Yeah, in my office, I have one of those sofa bed thing, it's a couch that,
Sofa bed.
yeah, I
Sofa
kind of,
bed.
yeah.
It's a sofa.
Yeah.
And
Sofa
that's
bed.
the
But,
Yeah.
We have a bed with a queen size bed in it, a bed with a double bed, and gonna have a pair of bunk beds in the other room.
Plus,
Of course, loads of space.
Oh, yeah.
And
And
Well, we don't need the bunk bed.
No. I wouldn't want the bunk beds.
You can have the top bunk.
Oh.
little Ali, who is Kay's middle daughter, she reads with Nana nighttime stories, and she goes
Yes.
inside her bunk bed, and she's got little stars on, little glowing stars on the
Yeah.
ceiling.
Aw.
And she sits there, and she and Nana, we all leave the two of them alone for an hour. We don't know what they do, but they both seem very happy. She shuts-
Lovely.
Just occasionally, Kay's head comes out. Are you all right? Yes. Go away. I'm talking to Nana. What happens?
Oh.
Just yeah.
she's got all,
Which is great. It's good.
she's 6
Yeah.
years old, she's got all kinds of stories, and you don't have to say much to get a 6-7-year-old kid to yak. I mean, you ask a couple of
That's true.
Way to go. Quite happy, and she'll read a story, but then she gets distracted and starts yakking, and away we go. And
Nana has written her a book. So she has a book written by Nana, with
Wow, fantastic.
and she's printed it. She's had it bound, and Fred sent it up. Did we take it? Fred sent it, didn't we?
no, I meant
We mailed it from here. So they got Nana and Ali's book, which is really
Yeah.
it's actually a song.
Yeah.
No, but it's just a
That's lovely.
song that I sort of animated, and then I made it, and then I sang the song and put it on a CD.
So you've got a book and a CD.
And a
Oh,
CD.
wow.
Yeah.
Well illustrated.
But at that age,
Yes,
she
yes.
knew it by heart like twice after she read it. So
Would you like to sing?
no, I'm not singing it.
I'll
I'll send you the YouTube link.
I'll send you a link to YouTube. It's on YouTube, wouldn't you?
No, it's on YouTube. Oh, even better.
Oh, no, that's lovely. That's good.
And have you guys had any snow at all?
Yeah, we had snow this
We
morning,
had
apparently.
an icing sugar dusting
Yeah,
of
just
snow
dusting.
That's
this
super.
morning.
That's all we got.
Oh, yeah, and the trouble is, it appears and it goes. Kay this morning went out for a long walk in the snow with the kids. She's just sent me 12 pictures. There is no snow. The kids are rolling. It's just a disaster.
We had a green Christmas, which is very rare.
It's the first time. It's the first time for 70 years that Ottawa's had 2 green Christmases in a row.
Really?
Wow.
Global warming.
Yeah.
And this year has been the hottest ever recorded temperature on Christmas Day. It went up to like 10 degrees.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Well, we were really mild.
Yes.
I mean, literally, we were able to
It's
wander about.
been damp. We've had a lot of really,
Yeah, it's
really
been really
damp
wet and miserable.
arthritis weather.
It's been nice for the move in, the fixing up, the getting things sorted out, but I want snow now. I want it to come. It's been used to not be cold, but we want proper snow. Get some skis out. And
Oh, he wants to go. Yeah, the golf course behind us has cross-country ski trails in the winter.
Oh, wow.
my paddling partner, Liam, who I'm sure you've seen pictures of, he lives about 15 minutes ski that way. So you
Right.
take ski from his house to the Vimy Bridge, which is a beautiful, beautiful, what are those bridges with arches? A suspension bridge. You ski over the suspension bridge, and then you can get from his house to our house using ski trails the whole way, except for Vimy Bridge. So the moment and he's got all our skis at the moment, so he's going to ski over with a pair of skis for me, and then we're going to ski back to his house.
That sounds so cool.
Sounds great fun.
Yeah, it
Good.
does.
We
Good.
can't do skiing around here.
No.
No. There's too big a hill to get into
I was
Shaftesbury
going to
on
say that
skis.
you'd find it really tough on the hills around here.
You still do your cross-country running stuff.
Langlauf, yes.
Wow.
No, my orienteering, you mean?
Ask Rose.
Oh, you're
what
orienteering.
for Christmas. What did you get for Christmas, Rose?
Oh, my Fitbit.
Oh, yes.
Hold your hand up, Ian.
You guys have
Oh, and he's got his as well, yeah.
That's
This is a
sad
bit
old
big and
clock.
bulky though.
Mine's an old-fashioned Garmin.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Oh, I see. They're not matching.
No.
I have one, but I've only really used it to test how long I sleep.
Well, so far I've just used it to tell the time and see what my heart rate is.
Yeah, the blood pressure, heart rate thing, kind of handy.
Yeah, that's what I've used it for so far. But I will in time use it for more than that.
Well, we've used mine for all our timing of our walks.
No, actually that's true. We do use yours.
But we can use yours now. If you
Well,
can work out how to
I
use
haven't
it.
set it up yet. I don't
Oh,
know how to
okay.
use it.
And do you
So we've got a pair of, Jane and I have both got a pair of Nordic walking poles.
Yeah.
I've used mine a lot. Jane's is still in this plastic bag because she's waiting for her other knee to come so
Yeah.
she can use it.
Do you think that Jackie is not walking well at all at the moment because of our arthritis? Do you think those Nordic poles might help you?
I have one.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And-
No, you need two. You need to do them together.
It's painful to watch.
And they're Nordic walking poles
Yeah.
as opposed to climbing poles.
Not normal hiking
Yeah.
poles.
But the
Like
thing is
ski
that-
poles.
Doesn't
Yeah.
it depend where your arthritis is because you have
Yeah.
to put a lot of weight on your arms.
Yeah.
You,
And I
you
wouldn't
use
be
your
able-
arms to sort of propel you, don't
Yeah,
you?
I wouldn't be able to use them at the moment.
No.
I've got really bad wrists at the moment, so I couldn't use them at the
And
moment.
it's a special strap that sits around your hand.
Yeah, it sits around the hand. Yeah.
Yeah, and you let go of them every time you're pushing.
My dad had some. I've never tried them, but
Yeah,
if
but
it wouldn't work with my arms either then because I got.
well, normally for me it would. I've not used these much, but I have done Nordic walking, and it speeds you along. You do go a lot faster with them than you would under your own steam.
Unless you're walking with Rosie, in which case you've got to keep up with her.
Well, that's because I freestyle. I don't need the poles. So he walks with
You're
the
bloody
poles behind me.
And you're young.
Yeah.
No, I'm accepting that at least one member of my family needs poles. I always used to think people look pathetic wearing them, but now I understand their necessity.
It's that or
I always used to think, why don't you swing your arms, man? Like a proper soldier. That's what arms are for. But I understand.
Exactly. Well, like you all swing your arms when you're Nordic walking. You're
Well, I
really
do-
good.
I
Yeah.
do have a walking stick, but it's a cane.
Yeah, Jane's got a wooden one that she got from the NHS.
Oh, I can't get my hand around it. It's so fat.
Oh, that's what
It's like a shepherd's
Yeah.
crook.
So I did before I had my
You
before
bought-
I had my right knee done. I used my mother's old walking
Oh my
stick.
gosh.
while we were in Jordan, she bought this, Dubai, she bought this beautiful stick, and it's made in bloody Canada.
Well, what's nice about it, it's got a special handle, so it fits it's an ergonomic handle.
Yeah.
So
Is that
cool?
and it stands up by itself. So
Excellent.
you can go quite easily, but the problem is because it's an ergonomic handle, you can only use it with one leg. So if
Of
your
course.
other leg goes bad, you can't use it with the other hand.
Oh God, I didn't think of that.
So you need a right leg.
I know what we'll do is we'll get Ian to scan it and do you a 3D print, and then you can send it a new handle from
I'll just buy another cane.
That's a good idea.
Canada, it's not that
We'll make one on a CDN printer. Mm.
Yeah.
Well, our kitchen is being made entirely on a CNC printer.
No, it's so
Really?
Oh, stop.
CNC cutter.
Cutter.
You said CNC.
Ah,
Yes, it's
Yeah, it's a
I did.
a printer.
No, I never said printer.
You did.
No,
You said
no.
printer.
I said, oh, you're right. I said, anyway, it's done on a CNC machine. So it's just a cutter, miller, machiner, and you just put the shape where you want the bevels, how high they are, how thick they are. You just put a big chunk of wood in. It goes juk, 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 juk. The software knows the way in which the pieces are going to fit together when they're built here. So it puts them onto a pallet, or at least it comes up with instruction to the bloke to put them on a pallet by order. So when they arrive here with a pallet, they start with the first piece, put that up, start with the next piece. It's brilliant.
Wow. Oh, that's
Yeah.
very clever.
good.
So there's no need for a chisel and a hammer to get it in the right place.
Yeah, no carpenter required.
So basically,
Oh,
they're just very expensive, custom-made IKEA cabinets.
But the interesting thing, and of course, IKEA use the same machine.
Yeah.
yeah.
The guy who started the company, my buddy, he's so tight. Everything is secondhand. Like everything in the shop, you go around the shop, everything he's bought for a deal. And the way he says it's CAD/CAM, computer-aided design, computer-aided manufacturing. We discovered the day before yesterday. The whole thing is so oversold. There isn't computer-aided design. And they go around, they all have tablets, and they design it all. When they get to the point where we were, where actually we give them the first check, somebody sits down and re-enters the whole bloody lot into the computer-aided manufacturing system. So they don't have a. Greg is a techie. He made his money in technology, and this is what he's done since he sold his company to a big multinational. And I called him on this. He says yes. He says that's quite difficult to do that bit, but you read the spiel and you listen to his salespeople who I've taught. I've taught most of his sales folks, and to them it's CAD/CAM, just as a clerk in the middle.
Oh dear.
There you go.
That
So,
sounds fantastic. The way of the future.
well, I think it's the intermediate future. It's not the stupid
It's the
high. It
middle.
costs us twice.
We haven't got there yet, but you're right.
But I think what's really interesting is custom clothes. I'm amazed that COVID hasn't pushed the custom clothes thing. All three of you, all five of us, can get scanned, and there's a set of numbers that describes us. Then you give those numbers to somebody who will make you a waistcoat, a hat, a pair of socks, a pair of trousers. Now that stuff at the moment is very high end, but there are manufactured clothing. And I was hoping, and maybe it'll happen, that what will happen is that we'll go from getting an XL, 2, 3, blah, 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 to actually just giving somebody your stuff. That's been around for about 7 or 8 years, but it was super expensive. And I'm hoping that this whole lack of contact with humans, which is horrible on its own, but as a commercial driver, so maybe before we die, we'll have computer manufactured clothes.
That'd be really good. So Savile Row, you just
It'll
send
put the tailors out of business.
your data to Savile Row, and your suit comes back, and it fits perfectly without hundreds of fittings.
I've put custom clothes on and it feels fantastic. I've had 2 made-to-measure suits, my army stuff, and 2 jackets. And you put it on and you think, shit, why don't clothes normally feel this way? Because it absolutely perfectly fits you.
Yeah, but you had to go for 2 fittings to get that to work properly.
I think, because I'm the wrong shape. we need to let it out here, sir. You do seem to...
Exactly.
My biggest problem is because I do this a lot. So they have to have a lot of kayaking space under here. You look shocked, Jane. Do you like the idea of computer-aided clothes?
I'm not shocked in the slightest. I think it's wonderful. It means I may eventually get a pair of trousers that properly fit me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, a potential customer.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, I'd love to get. A
I
nice pair of
once
trousers.
asked how much it would cost to have a custom-made pair of trousers, made-to-measure pair of trousers, and it was hundreds. And I thought, well, no, I'll just make do for now. I can't afford hundreds. But yeah, it would be great. It would be.
You compare that with the cost of buying a good, well-made pair of trousers, and I've had one. Nothing fits me anymore. Not just because I'm fat, just because I'm a different shape. But I had 2 pairs of custom-made trousers that I wore in the city of London every day with no problem at all. They never wore out because there was no stress and strain. They were super comfortable, and they cost £300 or £400. The return on investment was huge. So
Yeah, so you do get what you pay for with that sort of.
and you get
You do. But I'm not prepared to pay that.
Not for lounging about at
Not
home.
not these days. Not at the moment, anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, well, at the moment you see it. But, the normal of the and I've sold the idea of the ROI on custom clothing, certainly jackets and trousers. And if you ever watch any of my videos, you'll know I'm a jacketaholic. But you probably haven't, have you?
No. We've seen your videos. Oh, what was that?
Yep. Yeah.
Sorry, me too. I'm gonna have to pee as well. I'll have to run away, Jackie.
So is there any other news? Any gossip?
No,
What
well,
else can we tell?
no.
Oh, I've got the other the other gene that gives the hemochromatosis thing to Alex.
Well, of course you have. We knew that.
Well, we didn't know it officially, but we now know it positively because they've done a test on me.
So you're not suffering like him?
No, I don't know. I've only got one half of it. James got the other half, and he got both.
Oh, so it's both your faults.
Well, you need two
You need two
copies.
of the genes, 2 of the half genes.
No, they're not half genes. They are genes.
Oh, 2 genes that merge into the offspring and turn up as hemochromatosis.
So is it like a statistical chance that you 2 met?
Oh, I don't know.
It's very common in this. Well, it's
Apparently, yeah.
common to have the gene. It's a Viking oriented,
Oh, yes,
no,
yes.
originated
Yeah.
gene.
Ian looks a bit like a Viking on a bad day.
I do.
There.
It's the hair and the funny horn sticking out the front.
Yeah.
No, it's
But
right. Go on.
interestingly, after I had the heart attack, I was back in hospital a month after with some liver damage, and I was tested at that. The consultant said, "I think you may have hemochromatosis because my iron levels were sky high, higher than Alex's had been." And they did the gene test for that. But then when he reported on it, his implication was that I didn't have the gene. So we didn't then think to get the kids checked or anything like that. But when Alex came back, saying, having done that test, saying he got hemochromatosis, I was really shocked because I was saying, well,
How?
So I did a freedom of information search at Salisbury Hospital to get my test result because my GP had not got the test result.
At the time you had the test, he hadn't used the word hemochromatosis.
I'd had the test done.
Self-censored.
Yeah. And so the test showed that I had that gene.
If this is
I don't have hemochromatosis, but I do have the gene.
Oh my God.
But there's not been enough research into hemochromatosis yet. So there is suggestion that it could interact with other genes, not just another copy of the hemochromatosis gene. So that could be what happened to me to push my iron levels so high.
But you know it's their fault that Alex has got hemochromatosis.
It's our fault.
Yeah, because I've got the other gene.
Ah.
You
So
need
they
two
come together
people.
and raise his arm levels.
And there's a-
Everything you get, it's your parents' fault, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
It is, it's hopeless. So I got a note from the doctor because I then said, "Good, keep going."
What's the prognosis? What's going to happen?
Right. So from offspring or from us, 50% of our offspring might have might have the other gene, one of the genes.
One of the genes.
25% of our offspring could have hemochromatosis, and one of them has, and the other 25% might not have anything at all.
Yeah. So it may turn out that Rosie doesn't even have the gene.
Just
Rosie's been tested, but she's
But we
not
haven't
got
got
her
the results
results yet.
right. Oh, we're right in the middle of it. Yeah.
So we don't know. We don't know with Rosie.
And what's going to happen with Alex? What's the treatment?
So Alex will continue to go. At the moment, he's going weekly to the hospital and having blood taken, venesection. So they take blood. They take a unit of blood, which is what 500 mils, I think, each time. And that will continue until his iron levels come down, and then he will then have to carry on having blood taken probably about 3 times a year or something like that.
Forever.
Forever.
I mean, if you take 500 mils of blood away from somebody, the body produces 500 mils of blood. What's stopping his body?
It's diluted blood. It's much diluted.
It's not having all the iron that's locked in his
So the
system
iron
at the
that's in
moment.
there is built up over a long period of blood production.
Yeah.
So by
Yeah.
taking it away, you're slowly reducing. But what comes in isn't functionally the same as what comes out. Okay, yes, I've got it. So the new blood is much less concentrated in iron. The old stuff
Yes.
is
Correct.
Okay, I get
Yes.
it. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
does he take
But
medication?
because he's got hemochromatosis, that means that his iron will carry on increasing all the time. So you've got to keep giving out more blood forever.
Medication.
Forever.
Just give blood. No medication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the first few weeks, months, that blood
Just got rid of.
is disposed of, but eventually he will be able to go and be a blood donor,
Oh, that's right. I was about to ask you.
and then it's
So it's useful.
useful. Yeah.
That's true.
But that he's
Yes.
got that, and unless some magical cure happens, he's got that for the rest of his life.
Well, I have to say, somebody who was so disappointed to have to stop giving blood when I moved here. I think having to give blood for the rest
Well,
of
now
your life.
nobody wants your blood anyway.
You are like, yeah, that's of course here now. But I because of Margaret Thatcher, I can't give blood in Canada.
No, it's because of mad cow.
Well, Trevor, are you still taking thyroxine?
Yes.
Then you can't give blood anyway.
Well, there you go. So we got mad cow disease.
So I had to stop then.
So even in the UK, you weren't supposed to give blood then.
No, not if you got thyroxine.
Thyroxine in the UK.
You were when I met you.
I must have stopped then. There's a little period. Yeah, you're right. I think there was. That. You know, I don't think I did.
You always gave blood and we're in thyroxine, as far as I know.
Nobody ever told me. And
You're giving duff blood to people. That's terrible.
You're not meant to give blood if you're taking thyroxine. I was stopped from being a blood donor then.
You're the only person I know who pronounces the E in thyroxine. That's really impressive. Nobody else, including
The British.
No, I call it thyroxine. Well, I'm surrounded by Frenchies. You'd expect me to pronounce it. But I genuinely think I gave blood right up until the time I emigrated. And because of the prions, which can't be tested for, from mad cow disease, so we blame Margaret Thatcher, nobody who has emigrated from England will ever be allowed to give. So I'm going to look that up. But no, you're probably right and I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, I know that you wouldn't be able. You shouldn't anyway. If you're still taking thyroxine.
There we go. Oh, we don't do it anymore anyway. So.
And Rosie, you're disgustingly, how are you?
Yeah, no, I'm okay. I'm doing all right.
Yeah, Rosie's doing well.
Yeah, better, much better. Yeah, I haven't been very ill for a good few months.
She had a
I was
tough
very
first half
worried
of the
about
year.
your daughter. I was very worried about Rose, and then it kind of all.
Yes,
Yeah.
so was I.
No, the last time I had any sign of kidney infection was back in August. So yeah, no, I'm doing much better.
She just needs a new car.
She needs a new car.
Yeah.
I do need
So,
a
a
new
non
car,
sequitur.
but no, I'm just driving a very old car at the moment, and it's
Maybe it's
starting to fall apart a bit.
It's got bad seats, so the way you sit compresses your kidneys, which makes them open to infection. So a new car will fix you up. Ian, it's your responsibility as a good father to buy her
No,
a new
nothing to do with me. Now she's an adult. She can go and do her own thing and buy her own car.
So are you guys?
Well, I might buy Mum's car if she decides to sell it and get an automatic.
Oh,
Yeah, I have a shift car and I want to get an automatic before I get the other knee done.
Oh yeah.
Get an electric car. You have to get an electric car.
I know a hybrid.
That's halfway.
But as long as it's automatic, life with a manual,
Yeah.
with bad knees is no good.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I've got an automatic hybrid.
You have?
What's the treat?
Yeah.
Haley is,
I'm going to get an automatic hybrid as well.
I taught Kay to drive. She drives stick or manual, as you call it, beautifully. And when she finally got her license, it's only for an automatic. She said, "Dad,
Oh
No.
because she's stayed with us in Canada long enough to know how nice an automatic is.
no! I suppose, yeah.
Oh.
3 kids, and crises and shopping. She says just another thing to think about that. I'm never going to touch a
Yeah,
True.
I agree. But I think you should always be able to drive on your license with a shift, always. Because you never know when you might need to.
No, I agree.
I enjoy it. I like it. I
Yeah,
like the
I do,
sort of
but
challenge of
but my
driving.
knees don't.
I like it sometimes. for
Just wait
fun.
till you drive an
I
automatic.
don't-
You'll find
I
it.
don't like
It's-
it.
yeah.
In the city and there's tons of traffic and yells. I mean, we don't have a manual and an automatic license here. If you drive, I mean, I know how to drive stick. It's no problem. I drive a motorcycle. I have a motorcycle license.
Yeah, but you're particularly talented.
But here in Canada, there's no designation. If you have a driver's license, you can drive stick or automatic. It does,
Oh, okay.
and when I went to the UK, it was,
Stay with us.
he only had a manual. And
You did all right.
no, they wouldn't let me drive it because I didn't have a manual license.
Oh,
So
that's right.
they
Yes.
don't exist in
Oh.
Canada.
Oh, I
So he had to
see.
sell his car and get an automatic van so I could drive it.
And the other thing is, all the rentals here are automatic. Almost all the rentals in Europe are manual. You have to pay quite a lot extra
Yeah.
to guarantee an automatic. So the rental
Oh.
Yeah.
big parts of it.
Just make sure you got your
That's
automatic
awesome.
manual license and away you go. Because I find it weird here. I've taught many people to drive manual.
But if they come here, they're all right.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, we should be okay. Well,
Well,
I had an email.
Go on.
I had a letter from the DVLA in UK saying, "Dear Mr. Tait, we've noticed your license is about to expire on the 9th of March 2021. You have to reapply for a new one." What? It's because I'm 70
He's old. He's old.
and you have to
Yeah.
get a new license
He's gonna be
when you reach
70.
70.
Your license expires when you turn 70.
And they said, if you don't want to drive anymore, don't reply to this and don't do anything, in which case your license will expire.
In 10 weeks. In 10 weeks, he'll be an old man.
But you have to take a test.
No,
No.
just to fill in a form.
You have to take
Exactly, that's what I said.
Here at 80, they retest you. You have to go through the whole driving test.
I think,
No, I don't mind that at
no, I
80.
think, I think you should be retested at 80
Yeah.
in the UK.
That's
I
fine, I
agree.
don't mind doing that, yep.
I
I
agree.
think it's a
Or
good.
85.
Much safer.
No, 80.
Yeah. When I think of some of the clients that I had when I was working,
Oh my
who
God.
should not have gone anywhere near a car, who were still driving. Yeah.
But you do get lots of, elderly people who are driving way beyond the age of 80.
Way beyond.
When they really shouldn't be,
Yeah.
but they're just clinging on to that independence.
Yeah.
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 Especially on a
It's hard
Sunday,
to- it's
when
hard
they're
to give
trooping
up.
along at 30 miles an hour.
But I thought you were telling me that they had to take a test now.
No.
No.
No, they should do. We think they should, but no, he just has to fill in a form.
No,
I have to fill in a form.
So what is the point of that?
It's to declare. You have to declare. It's a legal
Yeah,
thing.
there's a load of
Yes, that's what it is.
there's a load of things on my form they've sent me. I've got to fill in saying, have you had an accident? Have you can you read? Can you see out of one eye? Can you not see out of one
Whether
eye?
you've ever had a heart attack. whether
Exactly.
you've
Have you had a stroke?
Strokes or epilepsy or anything like that.
Yes. Can you walk in a straight line when you're drunk and all that sort of stuff?
And
You
if
can
they
drive when you've had a
got an
heart attack.
accident and you lied on the form, then your insurance
stuff.
won't.
Yeah.
cover you.
I suspect if I say I can't see out of my right eye, they won't let me have a new license.
And if you get an accident and you lied, then you're screwed. Okay, I get
Yeah, I
that.
think so.
Exactly. It's just so that they can cover insurers.
It does say though that you've got to have an eye test every 2 years, and my last eye test was more than 2 years ago. So I'm waiting for my new eye test before I.
Oh, very smart. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I get an eye test every year because my mother and sister have glaucoma. So I'm entitled to an eye test. You have?
My mom and my grandmother had it.
Oh,
And
right.
I get tested every year, and I don't quite have it yet, but they're keeping.
No, I don't.
They're keeping close eye because there's some stuff that's not quite right.
I've got a
Yeah.
cataract coming here, so I'm going to have to.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yes. I was told last time that I got cataracts forming.
Oh.
And you hear it and you think, oh my God, I'm getting old. Then you discover it's the most common, easiest operation around. And then somebody
Yes.
asks you what they do, and you say, I don't really want to know. I just.
It's terrible.
Don't tell me.
No, it's not a big deal. My grandmother had it done at 92,
That's good.
and she was so scared, at that age.
Yeah.
92. Cool.
92. And after the operation, she didn't even need to wear glasses anymore. She couldn't believe
I know. Isn't that wonderful?
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be good.
Yeah. Oh, and my dad's waiting to get his done, and he doesn't wear glasses now. He says he's better without the glasses, but he needs daylight to see. But with the cataracts, but the waiting is 2 years to
So
get
I
it
want to get
surgery.
on the list.
Oh wow, that's a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, better get on the list then.
Yeah.
No, they won't do them. They
You gotta be
You
back.
can't get them done on the NHS.
We have a very good dentist. We have a very good relationship with all of our medical practitioner and our dentist. I said to him, come on, put me on the list. He says, look, everybody says that to me, especially gobby people like you. He said, we've got to do it. He says, when you're good and ready, I'm going to put you on the list and you can wait your fair turn.
Very sensible.
Very bad. Yeah, 'cause my friend who was here, that's why she had to sleep overnight, because she's got it bad in one eye and can't drive at night anymore.
She's waiting.
And she's waiting and waiting, and with COVID, is waiting and
And
waiting.
she's in, and she's
Oh,
left
yes.
a much longer
Yeah,
waiting.
that's what it is. But when I went to the doctor with my dad, the lady said 75% of the population over the age of 70 have to get cataract surgery.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Under the waiting list.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
basically- that's a lot. That's like
Excuse my ignorance. What's a cataract?
it's a film
What
that
do you-
films over your eyeball.
Over the lens of the eye. It's a kind of film that starts to form.
When you wake up in the morning and you've got all your floaters and stuff like that, you do this and you put some drops in maybe and you can see properly. Well, I'm like that all the time.
So it's a film that goes, the headlights on the car when they need a polish because they're all
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what it is.
eyeball.
It's exactly the same thing. I tried.
It probably is.
Yeah.
Yes, as Rosie says, is it calcium? And I think it probably is, because our bodies do tend to retain and deposit calcium as we get older in various parts of the body.
Okay, Google, what is a cataract?
She's not in here.
I switched her off.
She's not in here. She's even in our bedroom, for God's sake.
No, she says she's a wife. We put the Wi-Fi around the house. We have these Wi-Fi repeaters around the house. And after I bought them, I discovered that they are also Google Homes. So the Wi-Fi repeater talks to you. You can switch it off. So we have this rule. We don't have Google Home in the bedroom. And then a few days after we'd been there, I said something, we should say, okay, Google, what time it is. And the freaking Wi-Fi transmitters talk to us, which won't be discovered. But
They make funny noises sometimes when they record what you say. So they're
no, they don't.
always on. They're always on. Anyway.
And how is your brother and your sister-in-law, Rosie?
Oh yeah, no, they seem to be doing really well. Actually, I think they quite enjoyed the fact that they don't have to go across London to get to work, and all they have to do is go to the kitchen table. And
Are they both working?
no, so Alex is on holiday. Clem is still looking for work at the moment. But he, sorry.
Alex is still at the RNI, not
Yeah,
RNI.
he's
RIBA.
He's just taking a nice long holiday for December, and Clem she had a redundancy package that sort of sees her through to the end of February.
Yeah.
But she's looking for a job at the moment.
Same thing, being marketer for an architect.
No,
I don't think she really wants to work for architects anymore.
I think she's gone off that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's gone off then.
Being married to one can't help.
yeah,
Good.
she's starting to look in the third sector now, so the charitable sector.
I've not heard of
What?
the sector.
Oh, the third sector is charities and health sector, basically. So,
What was first and second?
well, commerce and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, no, well, yeah. What
First and
message
second.
on-
No.
Oh,
Government.
I don't know what 1 and 2 are.
Yeah, I can't hear.
It's because it alternates between who's talking.
I know, but still. Okay, that's
Okay.
better.
We don't know what 1 and 2 are.
We don't. Well, I will find out, and I will send you a link.
Yeah.
It's like saying, what's the third world?
I would say.
Everybody knows
Well,
the third world. What are the first and
No.
second worlds?
No, I would
Well,
say
that-
1 is commerce, 2 is government, non-profit, like
Yeah,
school,
I should think
3
that's
is charity.
it. Yeah,
hospitals and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you get
Yeah.
into the third, which
Yeah.
is
Third sector.
scary.
so the third sector, although they may be charities, they do employ people with abilities to run the charities.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, that was always.
I worked. My last job was in the third sector. I was embedded in a charity, although my role was a Department of Health, a government-sponsored role. I worked in a charity. I was embedded in a charity to do the role.
And do you miss working?
No,
No, she doesn't. Not at all.
Not anymore.
no. Initially, I
Yes,
did,
me too. But now.
but
quite-
no. I now think I don't know how I did it. Well, I don't know how I did it because I do now know how I did it. I did it and it made me ill,
Hell, exactly.
you know?
It didn't
I
help-
should have stopped
help
long
itself.
before. I should have stopped when I could and I didn't. I kept going.
So did I, but I enjoyed carrying on.
Yeah, but you're a lot healthier than I am.
Oh, that's true, yes.
But you still work, don't you?
No, I'm a retired person
He's
now.
now 100%.
Fully retired.
Yeah.
Ooh. Not even volunteering at the shop.
Oh, I am still volunteering. That's not
That's
work.
the third sector.
That's unpaid work.
That's third sector, unpaid.
Yes, that's what I do for Trevor. I'm the volunteer for Trevor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I have to. I'm getting to the point now where work I could do without. I can't get away from it for 4 years. I invented the whole thing. I'm not going to walk away from it. But I wake up sometimes and I think I could really do without this. It's been it's been really hard setting it up, and I'm hoping that once it's going, there will be people employed to run it for me, and there will be.
Yeah.
But it's not in my nature to hand stuff over. I just want to.
And I agree. I'm the same way. When I retired from the NHS and they got a successor for me, and they asked me to stay on and do a bit more
projects.
So I carried on and I did 3 projects. Well, one of them was a pretty strategic project, which I think my successor should have taken on, but he didn't. So I did that.
Yeah.
Did that for about, 3 years? 3 and a bit years I did that for. And then he resigned, my successor.
Oh, shoot.
So I was in the interview panel for my successor's successor.
That's right.
That's funny.
Oh, you lasted
Did you get the job?
He got the job. Yeah, it was hilarious. Anyway, so he got the job
And you
right
had
in the middle of
to train-
COVID.
Did you
So he
train?
couldn't go to work because we were in lockdown, and he got the job but couldn't go and see anybody. So I carried on doing things. And then eventually, he and I had a pretty good rapport about what I was doing, what he was doing. And I was giving him all my helpful hints about how he should get on and do stuff. And I'd run out of giving him any helpful hints. He knew what to do. He's a pretty young and aspiring sort of bloke. So I then said, right, I've done all my jobs. Can you take them back again? And he said, yeah, when do you want to go? I said, right, I'll go in a month's time. Right, done. So we then handed over in September. I handed all my projects back to him and I left. And that was it. And I'm now free. And it's really good.
And you guys are just driving each other nuts, all COVIDed up together.
I'm in my shed.
You need spaces for the men, yes.
You need a space to go to. My only problem in my shed is...
I was listening to what you were saying. I was trying to compare what's happened to you. And something occurred to me, of course, what I'm doing is I'm putting me into 38 hours of lessons. And then once I've got those 38 hours of lessons, which is certainly 2 or 3 of you know I've worked very hard to do, and we're probably about halfway through, at the end of that time, I have nothing to give. And I think at that point, somebody else can run the show, which I think is very good. So Tim Beckett, at the moment, is trying to instill all his expertise and his sales expertise and his financial expertise onto other people. But they keep bringing him back in. And he can't get away from the job. You know, his mum said to me that she doesn't think he'll ever retire. But I can see now I have a very clean break, because forgetting all the other stuff I've done, the last few years of what I've done, I put it into this stuff. I can literally walk
So
away.
the trick is, don't come up with any more bright ideas.
Well, I did think the other day.
No, have bright ideas, but make sure there's somebody else right behind you who you can move it on to straight away.
Well,
I think that I would say Ian did it right in that he retired and then took on the projects, which were not full-on work. I mean, they approached it initially,
They were quite big.
but gradually, it's just the hours he was putting in went gradually down, so that by the time he has fully retired, he got used to spending time at home doing other things.
And he wanted to retire.
I think that's what will happen to me. As I step away from this 38 hours of stuff, I will do more speaking, I'll do more events, I'll go and help recruit people who are going to be in our internship, leaders of, I'll go and see CEOs, and that's fun, just wandering around talking to people. And I want to do more and more of that until I can turn around and say, I'm going to stop.
Yeah, I did that too. And when my successor, who was bright and energetic, came up with better ideas than I had, I thought, aha, it's time to go. He's got this, he knows what he's doing, I can walk away.
I see this in Genevieve because she's an engineer, she's a secondary school teacher, her husband is a professor who teaches my stuff. So we're pretty closely related. And now we get to a point in the production of the online learning where she reads a chapter in my book and we do a, what do we call them?
Script.
Where we
Storyboard.
Storyboard. We storyboard all the stuff. And we do a storyboard. And before we start the storyboard, where I explain to her, I think, she says, I think what we should do is so. I think, yes, good God, let's do that.
That's the best way to do it. Absolutely.
Everything I said as gospel truth, and often it was complete garbage. And then we'd learn out later on it was garbage. And I'm beginning to see other people, there's 2 others, that's good.
And I had to be confident that this successor was able to keep my team, because I still classed them as my team, although I'd handed them over about 3 years ago. He wasn't going to make a mess of them, and they weren't going to get all sort of, made redundant and sent off. I'm comfortable that he knew what he was going to do, and it was all going to work.
Yeah.
And the difference is that my team changed every year. I'd have a 3-semester master's group of people, but they were always my students. And my master's students are increasingly the undergraduate ones. So I definitely don't want my students messed around. And there's one prof I've got who I have severe worries about because he's very, very good at mentoring, tutoring, doing projects and stuff, but he's a really shit teacher. And
that's a challenge.
Because what happens is a student does the e-learning beforehand, then comes to class on Zoom, and then what he does is he mentors them. No, what I'm worried about is when we open all the classrooms up again and he starts trying to teach us stuff and he's going to be terrible.
Oh dear.
Oh, dear.
He's 73. I mean, for God's sake, he's not going to continue
Yeah.
teaching forever.
He's probably 3 times.
No.
Yeah. It's that important to give him that.
We did. Yes.
Anyway, the major worry I've got at the moment is it's freezing cold outside and my shed only has a heater that has a 55-watt light bulb in it.
Oh, geez.
It's an insulation. That's the first thing we did here was
No,
insulation.
it's already insulated. It's fully
It is
insulated.
It's an insulated
But
shed.
the little heater that I've bought isn't man enough to keep it warm.
Need a proper garage one.
Put some solar panels on the roof, completely re-roofing solar panels.
Solar panels.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good idea.
Put solar panels on the roof and then use the solar panels to recharge a nickel cadmium battery pack. And then you can keep the place as warm as toast when you're there. You can get a little bit of software, which you make quite sure while you're not in there, all it's doing is charging the battery. When you walk in, or you can even say, put a little app on your phone that half an hour before you go down there, because Jane's clearly getting ratchet and wants to get rid of you, you can get the place warmed up. In fact, Jane could do it. She could have been in, I'm getting a bit tired of it, and he's just cracking everything. Okay,
Warm up this shed.
I mean, it's
I like that idea. That's a really
It's
good
like
idea.
preheating the
I've got a
oven.
south-facing roof.
Yeah.
South-facing roof.
Yeah.
There's a tree in the way, though.
I'll send you some stuff. I'll send you a few links.
Yes, please.
We were going
I need
send
to go and get that.
The sun's in the sky here.
Yeah, I've got about, I mean, it's 8 before, so my roof must be at least 8 before. No, it'll be 4 before. 4 meters by 4 meters.
It's got a pitch.
And
It's got a pitch roof.
which direction does the ridge of the roof point? North-south, really?
The ridge is
The ridge is
east-west.
Right.
So
that's
one
perfect.
one face is going south.
It's
So
perfect.
you have one side, 8 before, which you put, yeah, we can do something for you.
And ultimately, we'll do the same on our roof here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, well, you need to get,
Faces south.
yeah, you need,
Faces south.
you need the Tesla system. We were going to put it on this house, but the house is all wrong. If we stayed in the old place, we'd have bought the Tesla system. It's completely integrated. You replace the roof tiles with solar panels. They go down to a power box, which has batteries inside it. The whole thing's completely software controlled. It runs your house, and as you make the battery more electricity than you need, it pushes it back into the grid. So there's just a sort of, it's like 3 sets of wine crates on top of each other. That's the battery pack and the control software. Plug into the roof, marvelous. ROI is about 18 months to 2 years for it to pay for itself with a south-facing.
really?
That's not very long.
And that's tile. That's not a thing on top of the tiles. That's
No,
actually tiles.
Basically, so if you've got a house that needs re-roofing, it will be vanished after anything
If we
else.
can get planning.
Well, you don't notice it. It's just it's the
Well, no, but
tiles.
the UK, they just put these big clumpy things on
No,
top
we don't
of
want the big
tile.
clumpy thing. We want to change the tiles to photoelectric tiles.
This is just the UK. They just started doing it in Canada. Yeah, there's massive amounts of it used all over Europe, most of America, where it comes from.
But then after a while, when you start producing more energy, you get money back from the.
Absolutely, yeah.
Generally, after about 2 years, you make nothing but profit. You pay for the capital expense, and you make a profit. And
That's a great idea. Right. I'm going to put them on my shed too.
Yeah.
well, I think your shed, should we say, your shed should be a toe in the water.
Oh,
What
yes, you're right.
I agree.
Okay,
when-
that'll be a
when the
panel on
shed
the roof.
becomes more important, you can then make a man cave, put a little addition with a sofa bed and a little telly and a pot.
Yeah, it's like-
That would entail a whole new shed because there's not space.
no, there's no space.
You need an addition.
I knew I was losing when we were designing the basement, because the basement's got my machine shop, it's got a games area, it's got a TV area, and
Bathroom
and
area.
a bathroom, so steam room area,
And a wine room.
and a wine room. Oh, that's right. That's great. So I knew I was losing it when Jackie said to me, she said, "I think we should put a bar in your machine shop." And I said, "Well, you see, in
I
America,
like it.
if you have a machine shop, you're a real man, and you have to have a bar. And you sit there
A
with your
bar in it as well. Oh, right. You can make that.
There's only one reason for having an effing machine shop, and that's to machine things.
Exactly, making
If you
things.
drink beer when you're making things, then you make a mistake. So the only the guy whose company's building the garage, the kitchen, he also does these sort of millionaires' garages. And you've probably seen pictures of them. The floor you could eat your meal off, beautiful, stupid, crazy stuff, all custom made. And he said they almost all have a bar.
Oh,
What do you want a
what's the
bar?
point of
A
that?
man cave.
It's your part of your current.
It's where do you go to be away from your wife and kids?
That's okay.
Oh, I see.
All you need is a little mini fridge in the corner with your beers in it.
That's
Yeah,
great.
to do the mini fridge. No, I don't need a mini fridge. It's cold enough without a mini fridge.
I do have a mini fridge down there, but it's a bit pointless since we've got a wine store. The wine store is a classic Canadian wine store. It's 2 meters below the ground. It's touching the permafrost. It doesn't need any cooling. It's so cold.
It's cold. Oh, that sounds great.
Two little vents from the outside. So you gotta watch that you don't put even like too many preserves or they'll freeze in the winter.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a sensor on an alarm so that it gets too cold.
No, but I'm gonna insulate.
When are you going to insulate?
Yeah,
That's
no, the
bonkers.
spray foam insulation guy told me how to do it. When they insulate the walls,
We don't want it to get too cold.
No,
No,
you
you don't.
definitely don't want it to be too cold.
otherwise it freezes. So you insulate it and it keeps it at a constant temperature all the time.
Yeah.
Summer.
It sounds to me like basic thermodynamics.
Well, whatever.
When you do a curry.
Oh, yeah.
Soon.
Oh.
If it's wine,
It's
if it's wine you're storing, then 50 to 60 degrees
Yeah.
is what you should go for. Or what's that? 15 degrees,
14, I think.
14, yeah.
And right now it's down to like 6, 7.
Yeah, it was 9.
Yeah. That's too cold.
I went down there. I did a massive cook of turkey pies yesterday. And we were going to put them down there to start to freeze because our freezer doesn't arrive until tomorrow. So we've got the freezer in the bottom of our fridge, which is very good. And so Jack said, and we normally just put it outside. This time of year, it's so warm. You just stuff stuff outside, cover it over so the critters don't get at it. And so Jackie bet me that I couldn't put all my pies in the freezer compartment in the fridge, but they are all there.
So I don't know where I'm going to put my turkey veggies.
Got nowhere left.
We can't eat it fast enough. Anyways.
When does the freezer come?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. It was supposed
Okay.
to be here 2 weeks ago, so
Yeah,
we shall see.
It's going to go in the library temporarily.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, look, Trevor, I always remember you flying over here with a frozen turkey pie in your suitcase. Yes,
Meat pies, yes.
yeah, which was delicious. Absolutely
It's
delicious.
basically the same. Did it have a little
Yeah.
bit of a bite to it? A little tiny bit of cayenne pepper?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the one. It's the same one.
it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
Turkey pie, you must have said it over there.
No, I gave him a turkey pie.
You gave him a turkey pie. Oh.
But next time you have a turkey pie, it's here.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
There might be a wall.
It won't be in the winter, I can tell you that.
We always have turkey pie. Listen, I also make small turkey pies that Liam and I use for kayaking. So, and that's definitely during the
But the
summer.
best time of the year to come is September.
Yeah,
The weather's lovely. It's not crazy hot and humid.
The kids will be gone.
The kids are all back at school. There's not a lot of bugs.
Yeah.
It's very it's the perfect time of the
It
year.
is. I think you need
Yeah.
to.
Even to Thanksgiving, so like up to the first 2 weeks of October.
Yeah.
So that could be
I-
September
I-
2022.
I think what we
August 22.
September.
what we would probably do is go to the Seattle area first.
Oh,
Pacific Northwest,
perfect.
which is where we lived.
Yeah.
So just to revisit old haunts,
Yeah.
and then we get on a plane and fly over to you.
So it'll just be a jet lag stop.
Yeah.
You could be the jet lag stop.
No
Yeah.
jet lag stop. Listen,
Yeah.
because you are going to do this, and Janie's going to be all right, and Rosie's hopefully going to come, unless she's got the world best job. But the point is, when you come for longer than you think. There is so much to do. August, September is like this. When we sat down, we worked out what the kids could do over summer. It's embarrassing.
But then can you fly directly from Heathrow to Seattle?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a direct flight. Wow, that
Yeah.
was long.
Well,
I
it
guess
was.
over the top.
No, I think it still is.
Okay.
It goes over the pole.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad. Yeah, because Vancouver.
It's about an 8 hour,
It's probably
8
much-
hours, I think.
Yeah, which it's only 7 hours to here.
Because for us to
Yeah.
fly to Vancouver from Ottawa is 5.5.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
going over the top thing.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, we fly over north, we go north of Greenland on the way back from Heathrow to here. So we're already going over quite a bit of the North Pole anyway. So you're going way, way east.
We can
Yeah.
we can meet you in the West Coast, and then drive back. You want to see Canada?
Oh, we need to
No.
take a Canadian train.
No,
We've got to take a
No.
train. We've got to
No.
go on one of those smart
No.
trains.
no,
Oh.
no.
We don't have smart trains. We have Olga Clunk.
No.
Clunk trains.
No.
Yeah, the
I have
country
to-
club.
having done
Yeah.
it,
Oh, don't you have smart trains?
I've done it with Helen.
I
I've taken the train to take the train to Calgary. That's a nice trip.
Oh, that's not a long trip.
No.
yeah. I don't want to. I don't want to take the train. I have a friend who took the train. She and her husband went on Vancouver to Banff or somewhere like that. I can't remember. And she said, never again, because it's just, I mean, it's beautiful, but it's the same all the way. It's the same.
It's
It's
just bush.
mountains and,
It's bush.
you know,
That's mountains. It's not bush. I'm sorry.
There's more and more mountain.
Yeah, they get actually what happens in lots of mountains, then less and less and less and less and less. That's what happens. The secret is to make sure you start at the beginning of the day so that it's light while you're going through all the amazing passes out of the West Coast.
Okay.
but that's fine. I mean, we know the West Coast
Yeah.
of Canada and of America, but we would want to revisit that. But what I don't want to do is go and sit on a train for 2 weeks or whatever. You know,
It doesn't take 2
Wait,
weeks.
no, I want to get on a plane and come over to you on the East Coast. I don't want to drive it. I don't want to train it. I just want to get there.
Did you guys go to Oregon as well, or did you stay in Washington?
Probably stay in Washington. Oregon is lovely, but we'll probably stay in Washington.
Oregon.
I love Oregon. I'd live. It's
Yeah.
the only place in America I'd live. It's just beautiful.
And you-
Washington is beautiful.
Washington's so gorgeous.
Well, Washington's gorgeous, but it's very wet.
I once stayed with some lovely
No,
No, it's not.
Honestly,
That's
it's
a
not.
rumour spread around about people who live in Washington.
You're Brits.
Well, okay, I will admit we arrived in April, and it was relatively wet until probably around early June. So late April to around early June, it was wet. And then the sun came out and it stayed out all summer. And then we got an autumn, and then we had winter with snow, and then through into spring. It's the spring that's wet, really. I mean, the winter would be wet if it wasn't snow, but it's snow.
Well, now
Um,
it's mostly rain with global warming.
Yeah, I suspect so. That's true.
No.
Yeah, afraid so.
Oh.
No, it won't be the
It
same.
won't be the same.
The rainforest will be really a rainforest.
Yeah, it was 30 years ago. It's not going to be the
Right,
same.
well, the rainforest-
Oh.
I love that rainforest.
So go in the fall. Go in the fall. Do not go any other time of the year.
We'll go there in late summer and then come to you in the fall.
That's a good idea.
We were talking about this about 6 or 8 months ago, and I went and had a look to your old house. And it
Oh,
has,
Trevor, you sent me the link.
It was very disappointing.
I was so disappointed.
Oh,
It was a lovely house.
It was, but not anymore.
When we lived in it, because when we lived in it, it was nearly new. It was nearly new when we lived in it.
but that's
by the
a classic North American thing. They build an estate, they have them around here, and the estates they're like preserved in
lost
aspect.
in time.
And it was, I remember being blown away by it. We had such fun there. But it does
Was
look
Yeah, it was a great place.
Yeah, it was.
But it looked
No,
really run down
no.
and sort of, no use
It
it.
I
was.
felt very unhappy for the house.
And what was interesting, I went and had a look down some of the roads. Yours seemed to be the final version of the estate. I thought maybe it would have got bigger. But I remember there's a couple of roads we walked down to the end and they stopped. And they still
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. No, we were, I think we were an early version because they were still building it when we lived there.
Maybe I
So
They
they were
didn't build down
building
there
behind
much
us. No, they
further behind.
didn't build down to the main road. They built up into the forest, basically. Yeah. They'd cut down forest to build it.
Still a nice trip.
That's what they do.
Yeah, it was.
Well, it's nice to have something penciled in with a lot of logic. And if the kids come over,
Pencil, I have to say, pencil.
always everything's pencil.
Yeah.
Things
Like
change.
seeing you love.
I said-
It was penciled. I think it was inked. Good.
Well, now it was in my calendar today as well, so that worked a little better.
Well, you were given. I had to say, I had to remind her she'd forgotten. We had to.
Well, we got lots of reminders from you, I noticed.
I had just woken up.
Yes, that's true. You're normally the person who's on top of this.
Yes.
All right. Well, it's lovely to see you guys, and it's nice
And
that you guys are really well set up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. We're set up now. I've built a little thing for my iPad Pro to sit on. This little wooden frame you can't see.
You can't see it.
Cool.
That's why we're in the right place.
I have a because I haven't built any of my computer equipment yet from the move. I have my laptop, which is folded like that, so it's all in one thing. Then it sits in a stand, so the height of the screen is at the height of a regular computer. So we got a stand. Then the keyboard is vertical. Then above the keyboard is the screen, and above the screen is the 4K camera, and it works very well.
He's got two keyboards because he can't type in.
Oh yes, right. Keyboard in front. I forgot to mention that. It works really, really well.
But we're well set up here.
Yeah.
Right, turkey curry.
Turkey curry we're going to have any minute.
Well, we're
What do we have to do?
we're having turkey vegetable soup.
Oh no!
No.
Big smile. Oh, they are smiling.
Cheese.
You're recording
We're all
this.
smiling.
Why do you have to take a picture of what you're recording?
Because you don't
Right,
get.
I'm gonna start on the turkey
You're going
curry.
to start in the curry.
Oh, it's Monday. I've got to water the plant. It's Monday plant.
Yes, right, yes. Okay, well, this is
I'm
cool.
gonna go start on the turkey curry.
We're saying cheerio.
Lovely
Bye.
to
Bye.
Bye.
Lots of love.
Bye.
Talk soon. Bye.
Bye.